So the reason that I hate politics isn't just because I'm an anarchist or a libertarian or anything like that. That's part of it. That's certainly a big part of it. Obviously, the goal of libertarianism, arguably, is to rid the world of politics, right? But when we certainly are in this age of social media, where everybody has to put their thoughts out there, be a part of the conversation. A lot of people that have no business because they're fucking stupid by literal definition, as in there's something that they're knowingly ignorant on. They're knowingly ignorant on, yet they'll still speak on it, put their aggressive, loud opinions out there. So we have all of this taking place, but when it comes to the leaders that you guys worship and praise, people tolerate. And this is going to be an obvious thing, but because it sounds some of what I'm going to say is not like news, right? But I just want to break it down in my own personal words. But depending on who it comes from, or more so what they do, individuals will either ignore it or, at the very least, tolerate it or even praise it, utterly being hypocritical. And I think the Trump and Obama sort of, because we've had now two presidents that have been part of the social media age, it sort of highlights this, right? And that a big thing that leftists, yet again, they'll talk about is foreign conflicts, military spending, just military overall, and now the topic of conversation is deportation, immigration, stuff like that, right? Barack Obama, and this isn't up for dispute, literally bombed more countries than George W. Bush. Remember when everybody was anti-war from the left when Bush was in office? Well, Barack Obama bombed more countries than Bush. And not just that, right? Because some people will say, well, who started the wars? Not all of those were conflicts that happened before him, right? Or just were extensions of wars that he started, Bush started. When you consider like Libya, Syria, Yemen, you consider those conflicts. A lot of that was orchestrated and more so happened on Obama's watch. So the guy bombs more countries than Bush. Never mind all the spending increases and so forth that also happened on this watch. But also when it comes to the immigration thing that everybody's bitching and moaning about right now, Barack Obama deported more immigrants than any other president, I believe combined, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not. And it's not just because they redefined deportation. It's not just that. You can take out the newly defined deportations, which are, say, someone gets turned around at the border, and he still far exceeds everybody else before him. But it either goes completely ignored, or again, people tolerate it. They'll make excuses for it. And these are arguably things that are specific to him. A lot of other things, because it's a little more complicated, you can't just credit to a president, right? It's funny, everything happens like all these different levels of government. It happens at the state level, federal level, and you get presidents to try to take credit for like the entire economy or take blame for the entire economy. And some of that, yes, can be accelerated or partially because of what a president does, but certainly what we know is in their control is that's the whole point of being a commander in chief is dealing with foreign policy. So those war efforts, that's on him for the most part. But we, and I talked about this in my last video, Barack, even before, of course, he was in office, he's seen as this beacon of hope, first half black president. He's suave. He's cool. Someone the kids can look up to. Meanwhile, he's fucking bombing goddamn hospitals. He gets a Nobel Peace Prize, and he's bombing the living shit out of civilians. People don't think that's weird. I do. So because he's well spoken, he's a Democrat. He's suave. Sing Al Green, all the celebrities kick it with him and shit like that. People act like they're blind to the crimes that he commits. More so that happens on this watch. And on the other side, you get Trump, who's a fucking loudmouth. Easy to hate because of that. Now people are anti-war again. And now people are bitching and moaning about immigration. Again. But it also goes on the other side. Donald Trump has done more to restrict gun rights than Barack Obama in terms of leveraging his federal, or more so leveraging his executive power. It's not just a bump stock ban. I wish people would quit defining it as that. And then who want to use bump stock? You know, the conservatives, right? Come and take it all for the gun rights. And then because they're their Lord and Savior, Donald Trump, banned some shit. Whoa, why would you want a bump stock anyway? Those things are stupid. Lets me know that obviously they didn't read anything, because it's far more than just bump stocks. Number one, it doubles down on previous legislation. It uses that to justify it, right? All gun rights, or more so all gun laws, are infringements, right? Y'all beloved Second Amendment, right? Yet it specifically, don't take my word for any of this shit, it specifically references old acts so it could justify classifying them as machine guns, thus banning them. And it's not just bump stocks, it's bump stock type devices, or what they define it as. So it's not just a bump stock, right? It's all sorts of fucking attachments. It's a long list of this shit that would necessarily, or more so, changes, alterations to your gun that would make it illegal. That shit happened. Y'all's mans did that, but because he's a Republican, he's sticking it to the establishment. They tolerate it. This is why I fucking hate politics. People are taking sides, right? Everybody wants to take a fucking side, even if it means being hypocritical, even if it means supporting a position you previously did not support. Actually, you out there just, bum. Oh, he's trying to take our guns. Fuck this guy. Donald Trump's on record saying a lot of weird shit regarding gun ownership. Again, not just in that law, but also with the whole, take the guns first type shit. Like, yet they tolerate it. And again, it goes on the other side with Obama shit. Now, I'm not just one of those, it's easy to just say both of them suck and they're equal. I don't believe that they're equal by any means. I mean, actually, it's fundamental economics for me to be like, they're not equal. Because they're not. They're not equal at all. No such thing. But there's things that I can point out individually that makes them, why I'm not a fan of either one of those guys. And it's of merit, it's of position. And because I don't have some fucking allegiance to a party, or allegiance to this guy, or because I'm lulled by the fact that he's well spoken, or lulled by the fact that he's sticking it to the establishment, I can actually call those out. and look at the facts of the matter. And unfortunately, with politics, and certainly in this day and age of social media, it's a fucking side taking, and it's been like that, but it's certainly accelerated, and it's more obvious because of social media. So everybody's like, well, and then it's the whataboutism, right? It's the whataboutism, like, well, look what Obama did. Well, now, well, look what Trump did. And then it's like, well, you didn't say you wasn't opposing this when it, and all of that whataboutism, as opposed to being like, okay, this shit is wrong, right? So, but stop being lured by the simple fact that your guy is the one that's doing it, or your guy is the one that's saying something, or your guy's the one that's, facilitating or endorsing this policy, and just supporting it because he did it, or rejecting it because because the guy that you dislike the most endorses it. Now you're against the shit, right? It was like the whole tariff thing. Same thing. I remember so vividly. Michelle Bachmann and on down, and everybody was against tariffs. Talked about the threat of a trade war with China, back when fucking Obama was like fucking taxing the shit out of tires and all kinds of weird shit. And the Republicans, then they were against that. They didn't want to start a trade war. Now it's necessary. Like, what the fuck are we doing, y'all? I know I'm not the only one that sees some shit wrong with this, but this is legitimately fucked up, and people wonder why I hate politics like that. It's because it brings out the worst in people, man. It brings out the worst. People cannot approach politics rationally. They can't approach government with any sort of logical consistency. It's just point to the other guy, look, yo, squirrel. Come on, bros. It's an ugly fucking thing, like straight up. And a lot of these people have nothing but themselves to blame. I'm not acting like I'm perfect, but I at least, and I know other individuals do that, will at least understand that, look, there's the policy, here's the action, here's what's taking place. I don't have allegiance to any of these sons of bitches. I ain't got allegiance to any of them. Fuck them. I've done my videos criticizing Obama, done my videos criticizing Donald Trump. Fuck them both. But I don't say fuck them both just to say fuck them both, right? That's the easy position to take. It's like a leftist yelling in the air, like, being at some entertainment show and saying fuck Trump. Oh, so brave of you, bro. For the same, and then against sack riding the living shit out of Barack Obama, who did some of the same shit that Donald Trump is doing right now. It's actually worse in some cases. Like, fuck. I can criticize them individually and say, this is why you fucking suck. And I've done it. I think the world would be better off if they did that no matter where they were at. It's not just exclusive to American politics. But this is what politics brings out of us. It's this sort of, and I'm not saying all tribalism per se is bad, but this shit is terrible because people are completely disregarding fundamental logic, ethics, argumentation, just for the sake of pledging allegiance, right? To a party or to a person. So it's more so I want to see this in this person as opposed to actually analyzing their actual positions. That shit's fucking dangerous, and this is what got you the bloated government that you have right now that is always stepping on people's fucking or invading on people's rights, violating people's property rights, $22 trillion in debt, continuous cycle of deficit spending. It's not just exclusive to the president, it's government officials in general, but I'm saying that sort of approach, that allegiance, because y'all just, I'm going to support this person no matter fucking what. They have an R, they have a D next to their name, no matter fucking what. I'm going to support them. No matter what. Or I hate the other people so bad that now I got to support them because I don't want them to be in power. Politicians, though there's some dickheads, not all of them are stupid in the sense that they know that they can get your support by simply paying lip service to certain things. Like that's why I love the saying that a lot of Republicans they they campaign like libertarians, but they govern like fucking Democrats. Whereas to them, limited government, small government, we want our government out of this and that, and they get in office and passing welfare shit, corporate welfareism, even status welfareism, as far as personal welfareism, gun control, all sorts of bullshit. Just growing the government, right? Kind of what you get. But on a serious note, I really challenge you guys to just think about the people that you pledge allegiance to. Though it's hard to admit that, a lot of people make all sorts of excuses. Oh no, I don't. I'll criticize him when he does something wrong. Okay, that sounds good, buddy. But anytime I say, let me say something bad about Obama, let me say something bad about Trump. I mean, and it could be a fact. Again, I don't have to lie about anything, right? Don't make excuses. I'm pretty sure some of you guys have had the same experience, but this is what politics gets you. This is why it's the evil son of a bitch. Abolish the state.